Ryan, how hard is it to work with robots?
Depends on what sort of robots we're talking about, and I think that's the reason why Japan is rolling them out slowly and piece by piece. Some robots we've been working with for decades in manufacturing, but as there's been a lot of media coverage in the last few years talking about robots making it into everyday lives, and I think that's a very interesting question that's continuing to be asked.
You know, when I think about it now, I went to the Amazon facility in Truckee, or sorry, in Central California, and they've got robots. They've got these robots moving stuff around, and the robots are literally separated by a cage from the humans. And it didn't occur to me that the metaphor might be a zoo. It seemed more like a safety mechanism, and indeed it may be that. But the actual interaction with the robot, they were physically prevented from having one.
The Amazon system, the Kiva system that they have there, it's interesting. I actually used to work there a few years ago, and in that's a very good system, but it's a system that with the Genesis came about 10 years ago, and now we're seeing a lot more evolution in what systems are able to do just in their interactions day to day with people. That's much more possible now. We're seeing, as I said earlier, drones, self-driving cars, all of these systems are much more able to interact with people. That's what many companies, ourselves included, are designing for, because the Amazon systems are doing a great job for where they are right now, but the marketplace, the consumers are asking for more robotics everywhere.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you think robots are weird, you should see people. Right? I mean, is that fundamentally the problem? I mean, how do you deal with the human side of the interaction to get the human ready to work with a robot?
Yeah, it's a huge challenge. Sometimes for us, because of that challenge, we're starting primarily in relatively controlled environments, not as controlled as the Amazon system, but in manufacturing and logistics, and in retail. And in retail, despite having many pedestrians around, it still is much more controlled than, let's say, city streets. And I know that's a challenge that Google, that Audi, that Volvo, and all the other companies who are working on self-driving cars are facing on a daily basis now, is how do you challenge the robots sufficiently ahead of time with all of the weird things that people will do on a daily basis once they're out in the streets.
Well, and you're building robots to do all kinds of, water and snow. We're looking at some pictures right now of robots in all-terrain places. Talk to me about those challenges, because those are sort of both removed from controlled environments, but they're also removed from people themselves.
Honestly, dealing with people is one of the largest challenges we're working with.
I find it difficult also.
Yes, that we're trying to build smarter tools in our own way, tools that can help people do their jobs safer, that they can focus on what they're good at. And that's the real challenge. I mean, a robot that's out there in the middle of nowhere, it's certainly a challenge, but it's a challenge which has been faced in the past already. But to have intelligent systems interacting with people, both their operators as well as people that they might happen to come across in their travels, that's a real challenge there.
Really quick, just about 30 seconds here. What's your best industry you think we're going to get the most traction?
I think, first, we're already starting to see tons of traction in manufacturing, logistics, and mining. Those have been roboticized for decades now, and we're only starting to see increases, strong increases. But I'd say retail is another strong case. You're starting to see, as I said, it's very controlled, but at the same time, there's tons of stores out there where there's a possible use of robotics.